Saturday. You might be wondering what this is. It looks pretty repulsive when you look at it, just as it is. But what I've going on here are baby back ribs. And keep them tender. Then I'm going to pop them in the oven, and at last 15 minutes of baking, I'm going to slather them with some yummy little hair. But anyways, backs, you can go either way. Some people say it's not necessary. If you're using a smoker, that kind of maintains tenderness with meat, that's a way to do it. But what I found is if you don't parboil it, it just makes them tough. And there's really nothing fun about ripping meat off of a bone with your teeth when it's tough. Despite how much you slather it with some barbecue sauce. So what I do is I just you could cut this up into a couple of sizes, and actually do this with a couple of slabs of baby back ribs at a time, but I'm just working with what I've got, and there's only 2 of us, so 1 slab of ribs is just fine. And these were a great purchase at the store. They were on special, and I quite love ribs. I quite love barbecue in general. So anyways, you want to parboil these ribs for about 40-45 minutes, drain it off. If this little foam, that's on here, or, any little niblets that don't look appetizing, if you want to rinse it off, you could sure do that. But I kind of just transfer it straight over to a baking rack over a baking sheet nested into a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil. And that'll catch the drippings. So when you're ready, you could parboil in advance and then put them in the fridge until you're ready to bake off. But if you do that, just bring them out of the fridge, for about 20 minutes to let them kind of come to room temp, and that'll kind of help with the tenderness as well. You bake at a 350 oven for about 45 to 60 minutes, and you add the barbecue sauce during the last 15 minutes of cooking. And what I do not season my ribs at all. They are just flavorful and delightful as is. I do season the water that I parboil them in. I don't know if that's conventional or not, but it works for me. And so I'll go ahead and get this rolling. And later on, afterwards, a little popcorn and a movie. Kind of sounds like a perfect Saturday night. I hope you are well, and thank you again for joining me in the kitchen.